Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is your 7 a.m. report. Today is October 3rd, 2018. I am Black. That makes it Wednesday. I am Black Belt, the voice. I am Gorman Bannister. I am Gorman Bannister. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you straight off from the start, the theme of this morning's report, your 7 a.m. report, is when you get right down to it, ladies and gentlemen. I am like a drone this morning. I am hovered in on my target and I'm aiming straight for the heart. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start off by saying to you that I understand that there is a relaxation of the apprehension of Haitians. I guess we could all figure that out, but we do not know this part of it. I understand that the relaxation is because the immigration officers are busy doing something else. The immigration officers are busy following the mandate of Brent Conky Joe Nigger Barbarian Brent in carrying out his orders to lock up immigration officers themselves. He wants a total clampdown because he is not getting the things done that he wants to get done up at immigration. Ladies and gentlemen, I predicted to you that at some point there would be a rebellion, besides for the fact that there is within the corruption of Conky Joe Nigger Barbarian Brent's behavior up at immigration, there is sub-corruption going on amongst the immigration officers. And what should you expect if they see that the minister is doing that and at the same time trying to lock up other immigration officers who won't do what he wants to do? Well, you can't beat him. Then what you do is you join him in corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the feature of this government now. The qualifications to be in the good graces of this government is, number one, you have to be F&M, and number two, you have to be corrupt and immoral. Either one would do. Both is a bonus. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the trouble going on up at immigration. They say that immigration is in a virtual lockdown. A virtual lockdown. As far as everybody is watching each other. Brent Simmons has everyone against each other in order to get what he wants to get done. But, ladies and gentlemen, the bottom line is this, that if you can't get it done, you won't get it done. That's as simple as that. As simple as that. Ladies and gentlemen, so let us then move on. I want to say this, that you would notice that you would miss that House Nigger MC is famous for giving out iPads in Gambia Village. I understood to the primary school students. Now, I have to admit to you that he always did have an affinity toward giving things to the Gambia primary school students. That is his his constituency. But while he is busy giving out iPads to the children, I'm hoping that too that he is making available condoms for them little three gals down there in Gambia, right? That he spends a little bit too much time around, I understand, even though they're his constituents. Maybe he is spending time with his constituents and they just happen to be three of the thousands. But I just hope that while he's giving out iPads, those three knows I'm talking about, those three particular girls in Gambia, I hope he's giving out condoms to them. Okay? Or he is encouraging them to encourage him to use condoms to have safe sex, no matter who it is with. Ladies and gentlemen, let us move on. Now we're saying that I'm also hearing that they're saying that the government, the people in the government, these criminals, that they are power drunk. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to be considerate of one fact. Recognize this. You know, it's never about having the power, because I believe that this this government has the power, but they also recognize that they're losing the power. I want you to understand the danger of not when you lose the power, but what happens after you lose the power. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen, what it's going to be like for these criminals to now live in a society, once they have lost power, that normally hunts down criminals. And ladies and gentlemen, the way it seems like every institution in the Bahamas is programmed to react to how this government wants it to, it seems like it's going to take the people to exact justice from those who have committed crimes while in this government. That has to be a very, very, very scary proposition for these these drowning criminals. Ladies and gentlemen, part two coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is part two of your 7 a.m. report. This is October 3rd, 2018, which means it is Wednesday. And this is Black Belt, the voice. I'm coming at you as Gorman Bannister, and I am Gorman Bannister. And now let's get on into what is not in the news. Ladies and gentlemen, as Mr. Brave Davis said yesterday, it's time for the public crying and wringing of hands to stop, and it's time to get to work and fix the problems at PMH and at the Ministry of Health in general. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see the picture there of the devil now. With the latest woe is us topic at PMH being the dialysis unit, in the report from the hospital administrator, Mrs. Walker, it is lack of resources, environment conditions, nurses shortage, and the bad attitudes that is cited as the cause for the crisis. In my opinion, the entire Ministry of Health is in total collapse, as if its services are lined up like a deck of cards, one collapse after another. If a basic decision had to be made as to what needs to be done, it would obviously be to inject additional money to meet outstanding issues, plus those problems foreseen up ahead. Money should be taken from the budget of other areas to meet this immediate and critical concerns. But throwing money behind the eradication of issues is not enough. It's apparent that, as in sports, the team has stopped listening to the coach. It's obvious that even with additional money, the hospital minister has to go. The post nor the ministry has benefited in any way by Sands as the minister after another. And the reason why it won't get any better, because he does not believe the government should put one more dime toward the upkeep of the hospital services. You see, he truly believes that it should come directly from each person's pocket. Now, this attitude stems from his obviously entrenched belief that the hospital budget is his personal finances. It's obvious that science has his belief system mixed up with the budgets of governments. While science is crying to the public every day, we have yet to hear him on television crying to his government in need of more money. When the public is tired of complaints, the government is not reacting to the public complaints. It's time for the ministry to hear a different voice and then inject additional funding. The attitude of bitch and moan and an economy that calls for skill and ingenuity permeates an entire ministry, and the complainer is the bad apple that is spoiling the entire bunch. What is there to lose by a new voice at the Ministry of Health? What is there to lose? What is there to lose at the Ministry of Health? The question is, what is there to lose? What there's to lose is the old voice of incompetence. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to part 3. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. This is part 3 of your 7 a.m. report. This is October 3rd, 2018. This is Black Belt, the voice. I am Gorman Bannister. And our theme today is when you get right down to it, ladies and gentlemen. I am hovering like a drone over the enemy this morning, aiming directly at their hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, as you will see in this second photo, you will see a man charged with armed robbery outside a bank. Then you will see the picture of Belinda Wilson as if in facsimile coming outside of a bank, and it's probably the Teachers' Salaries Credit Union. And there is a caption there, my own caption, that says, What's the difference between him and Belinda Wilson? What's the difference? He got caught on what may be his apparent first try, while Wilson is still at it years later and hasn't seen prison. That guy needs to find out who Wilson knows. Ladies and gentlemen, while the public must be as equally tired of hearing about Belinda Wilson and her criminal escapades as about daily criminal activity in society, it now has to be asked of the teachers, are they are they are they comfortable with having sunk to a new low with the seventh suspension of Belinda Wilson and others for the consistent crime of stealing union money? First of all, teachers are looked upon as fools for punishment to keep electing someone to rob them of the present and future protection by taking their money right in front of their faces. But what is more important is that only a handful of teachers, so to speak, causes the whole profession to be looked on as either woefully traumatized by the bully tactics of Belinda Wilson or are engaged in grand larceny and theft, along with Wilson. As a prolific societal misfit, a suspended Belinda Wilson with lynch mob within and without ascended to a meeting for teachers at Walker's Hall last night. The only thing missing from this ugly event was lit torches in the hands of the Wilson lynch mob. As suspended members, the Wilson lynch mob was not allowed by union rules to attend any meetings. Nevertheless, the Wilson lynch mob proceeded to disrupt the meeting and the public peace in the area. Of course, the police, in all their glorified impotency, arrived, and the only thing they didn't bring with them was their popcorn and juice. They watched the disturbance of the peace anyway. But here's where the public will suck their teeth. Though not allowed by standard union rules, there were teachers there that put a motion to allow Wilson's lynch mob to stay in the meeting, and then there was some pathetic teacher who seconded the motion. A motion that can't arise because there's no union rule to support it. And it was moved by an educator at that, an educator, and seconded by another educator. These are persons teaching the children of the Bahamas. And what's worse, those who decided to stay away to avoid all the drama gets the label of pathetic placed on them in absentia without even knowing why specifically. The question is, how can the concept of bullying ever be addressed when the school's system of the Bahamas glorifies the biggest bully of the Bahamas in Belinda Wilson? Teachers, when the public finally decides that you all can't handle your own affairs that are spread out wide in the public like a prostitute's legs, it is then that you will be dismissed from class with a... Ladies and gentlemen, forgive me for that last minute transmission interruption, but let me state it again, what I was saying about this part 3, and we're dealing with the BUT. Teachers, when the public finally decides that you all can't handle your own affairs that are spread out wide in the public like a prostitute's legs, it is then that you will be dismissed from class with a D average. Ladies and gentlemen, now let us move on to the finale and part 4. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your 7 o'clock report. This is October 3rd, 2018. This is Black Belt The Voice. I am Gorman Bannister. I am Gorman Bannister. And this morning, the theme is when you get right down to it, ladies and gentlemen. Early this morning, you may hear it in my voice. I'm not feisty, but I am zeroed in like a drone on my targets. And trust me, I won't be missing. I will not be missing. So do yourself a favor. Get out the way and watch what happens to those that God has made for destruction. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is the finale, and you'll see the picture of the finale that this is one mass of an ass. One mass of an ass, Adrian Gibson. Ladies and gentlemen, mass and ass go together well when one thinks about how Adrian Gibson goes about his affairs at water and sewage. This ass is engaged in mass disconnections of those with accounts at water and sewage. Like property tax people who have a fundamental issue for being harassed to pay for being harassed to pay taxes on land, is the same as it is with people who feel as though they are being harassed to pay for water from water and sewage. Now, that's not to say that water bills should be allowed to remain unpaid and or dormant. But the attitude of behaving toward paying for water must be balanced with the social and health implications of water disconnections. Could you imagine that maybe somewhere this morning, a single mother with 5 children in the house to get ready for work, wish and no water in the house? The health implications of no water in the household creates so many diseases, and then very quickly. It don't take a day for that to occur. Water is the sustenance of life. But as an ass engaged in mass disconnections, the health issues that will ensue will be as great as further corruption. See, that corruption is going to come no matter how much follow-up Gestapo tactics that mass of an ass Gibson believes he can enlist. What he doesn't realize is, just as the person who knocks on homes to admonish people to pay their property tax have fundamental issues and disagree about having to knock on doors, harassing people to pay property tax, it is the same way that water and sewage personnel will disagree fundamentally with engaging in mass disconnections. See, what this mass of an ass who engages in mass disconnections will ultimately find out is that his zeal to impress his boss will only cause more revenue loss. Because he's the only one that believes people either pay the water bills or have no water. It ain't like that. It ain't either or. Because here's the news flash for that mass of an ass. Man can live without food, but cannot live without water. So if it's between living without Gibson or water, what does that mass of an ass believe will happen? What Gibson needs to do is go on a promotional and publicity tour with a crew from water and sewage and do a day of disconnection exercises. This is what I want to ask you all. How long into that tour will it either be disconnections of the water supply or disconnection to the head of that mass of an ass, Adrian Gibson? Yeah, let me say that again. How long do you think on that tour will it be before it's either disconnections of the water supply or the oxygen to the head of that mass of an ass, Adrian Gibson? Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very dangerous course that we're on for the implications of the health matters. Okay, because people could live without electricity because they could go ahead and get themselves a candle and make it work. But when you're talking about raising revenue by cutting off people's water and then to raise the revenue, is that what this is really about? Raise the revenue for water and sewage, but cause more deficit at the hospital for people coming to the hospital because of lack of water? You see why he is a mass of an ass? Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your 7 a.m. report. This is Black Belt The Voice. I am Gorman Bannister. I am Gorman Bannister. And remember, 8 o'clock report is still the same, but we're back to what's up now. I hope you saw the notice I left for you. We're back to what's up because it's a better and clearer sound. And ladies and gentlemen, truly, I serve a living, risen God, and I serve you all. I am your captain. I believe in perfection. I believe in delivering to you what you need to be able to deliver to others. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your 7 a.m. report. Good morning.